Live, we're live. We on the air.
We are live.
We on the air.
We over the air. We on the air. What's going on, brother?
Tell him. Same old. What's good?
Yeah. Another day in paradise, right?
Always good to be alive. Good to be alive.
What is up with the weather? What in the actual fugazi?
Winter.
Winter
is coming.
Did get winter. Salute to the big sis Millie Mill. Yeah, man. It is really weird out there. And for everybody that's watching the show, as you make your way into the room, can you comment? If you're watching us on YouTube, if you're watching us anywhere else, just comment as you come in the room so we know you're here. We've been having like some really funny issues going on. I would say either make your way over to the YouTube page, which is the Set 6145, or if you can, please go over to the Set 6145 on Facebook, the main page, because a lot of people have been making comments, and I come to the end of the show and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that this person was even here.
Right.
But we're here and we live. Salute to the brother Raul Santos. We see you. Big Eve on YouTube. Oh, Charlie Brown. What's good?
Estrella.
Oh, here we go. My baby sis Zenobia Mercado and my son fools Josiah Nace. You better behave yourself. We watching you. Man. So yeah, it's been the weather's like all over the place. Like I'm coming out in basketball shorts, a snorkel, Tim's, and like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, the next what? Well, March. You feel like March, April. After that would be good. Hopefully.
But this is bad because of the fact that the weather changes lead to a lot of people getting sick. You know what I mean? Because you get comfortable and you take, you peel off a layer, and then next thing you know, you effed up.
That's why I just stay in hoodies all year round.
That works.
Not in the summer, but like for the fall, winter.
Mm-hmm.
Hoodies, and if it gets cold, then I'll throw a jacket on. But
yeah. Oh wow! So look who's in the room. The OG, Big Stone,
Big bro, Tone. What's going
on? You. And the big homie, Robert Vass. We see you.
Yes, sir.
Salute to the brother Robert Vass. People, if you don't know who Robert Vass is, go Google him. Learn something. Part of our history, part of our upbringing. But this brother's doing big things. So, like I said, go Google that brother. Salute to the work he's doing out there. Hope you get that look, Rob. This dude was out in a muscle shirt the other day. I kid you not. And I was like, sigue jodiendo. That pulmonia is gonna get you.
As long as the ladies don't got their toes out yet, we are.
Oh, for real. That's coming though. You know that. Man, so tonight, ladies and gentlemen, tonight is going to be something very specific. Myself and Mr. Sasson here have been talking about this for quite some time. And we usually do our chop it up at the end of the month, but we got a little twist this month. We're going to have a very special guest next week. I hope everybody can make it over and check it out. It's going to be fun and a lot of laughs to be had. So we decided, you know what? Let's do this chop it up tonight. And I have been sort of on Sully's back pause about discussing this.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
So we decided, with everything, fair and equal, that we talk about it tonight. Good evening to Miss Angelica Rodriguez. Where's the regular schmegler? Where's she been?
She's probably in there, like you said. She's probably in the other. Yeah, we see you, Angelica.
Yeah, we see you. She told me she was watching the show with J.I. Star. I didn't even see her comments.
Yeah,
crazy. That's me. Now it's Rodriguez.
Oh,
I'm confused. Okay.
Valentine's happened the other day. I don't know.
Surprise!
Might have been a wedding.
Hey, Somebody finally felt the pressure, you think? Also, salute to our brother, Mr. Dom G, in the building with us. We're going to be tackling a topic tonight. Salute to the regular schmegula. It is her, Miss Angelica. We see you. We're going to be tackling this topic tonight. This is something that like I said, I've been talking to Sully about for quite some time. And sure enough, here we are. We're going to talk about it. I hope everybody can express their opinions. And you know what? We might even put the phone up, or we might invite you to join. We might put the link up so you could join us and you could express your opinion, or you could call in, one or the other. But we're going to see how it goes, and we'll work it from there. So, I mean, what's up, man? You ready to run this track, or?
Yeah, let's do this. What up, Matty? Matty Royal.
Oh.
Tom Ford, one was good.
Thank
you, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Yes. Let's run this track. Let's go. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mr. A.
And I'm your co-host, Elisa Song, in the building.
And this is the set 6145. Tonight, as I stated earlier, we are going to chop it up. We're going to kick some topics around, but we're going to be sticking to something that's been in the news and has been sort of a hot topic. And I had been trying to bring it to the forefront because I think it's something we need to discuss. I'm gonna open up the phone lines in a little bit. Hold on, let me hide this. And if anybody's feeling froggy, I might put the link and you could join us and actually come and express your opinion. Doesn't have to be too long, doesn't have to be short, whatever the case may be. But if you're feeling froggy, I'll put the link up in the room. All you got to do is click it. You got Google Chrome on your phone, and you could join us and tell us how you feel. All right. So first things first. Before we welcome our first guest into the room, I want to let everybody know the second video that you guys saw is our disclaimer. We want to make sure that everybody understands, like myself and my partner here, we disagree all the time about many different things. And the wonderful thing about that is that we don't want to go to war about it. It is what it is. He says blue, I say baby blue. No big deal. We move on. We could all disagree about certain topics or whatever it is, religion, politics, however the hell you feel. But as adults, we should always maintain the maturity enough to know that a disagreement does not mean that I hate him or he hates me. And fight! Everybody should move in their life, right? So with that being said, tonight we're going to be talking about something that is very touchy. And everybody differs in their opinion or position about what it is. But before we do, I wanted to share this. Not even. You know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring in our guest, and then we'll start opening up the discussion. Our first guest that is in the building with us, you know him from his show, There Goes the Neighborhood. Super raunchy, super funny. This gentleman is super lively. So I hope everybody is following him as well. The set's going to welcome tonight to our platform, the one and only Mr. Dom G.
What's good, fellas? What's good, fellas?
What's going on?
Hey, man, I appreciate you letting me use my new toy today, man.
Oh, okay. Whoa, yeah. Glad I ran this disclaimer.
It was at this moment that he knew he fucked up.
Oh, man, it was good though, man.
What's going on, brother? Everything good?
Oh man, everything's good, man. I was over here just, I got that roadcaster, so I was over here just kind of putting it together, having a little fun with it.
Flexing.
Looking forward to this. I was definitely looking forward to this show, man.
That's what's up.
Sure. Appreciate you coming on, brother.
Man, I appreciate y'all having me, man.
For real.
So, ladies, be my honor, man.
Like I was saying to everybody in the building, Dom has his show. There goes the neighborhood. Super fun. A lot of great topics. We've made an appearance on the show. Dom has been here before, and we're actually going to come back on the 22nd, right?
That's right. Next week.
Dom, what are we going to be talking about next week?
Next week we're going to be talking about the ass explosion of the 2000s. Let's get into it.
Oh wait, let me sidebar that. Salute to the big sis, all the way. She's in Georgia, right, son?
Malia's my sister-in-law, Jersey.
Oh, she's in Jersey. Okay. Salute to Malia. We see you. Yeah. So next week we're going to be talking about the buttocks, the backside, and the evolution and the evolution of appreciation for the backside, because as we know, there was a certain segment of the population that really wasn't feeling that, especially when we was growing up. We was always in the club, but it seems like the world has changed and everybody's really appreciating the cheeks. So we're definitely going to chop it up about that.
We got receipts. We got receipts.
Yeah, for sure. So, Dom, tonight we're going to be a little more serious. This has been a hot topic for the past couple of weeks. And, seeing as how we all come from different backgrounds and different walks of life and upbringings and experiences, I thought it was important to sort of bring this to the forefront so that we could kick it around and see how we view it differently. We're all not going to feel the same, but I wanted to share this with everybody. So let me pull this up really quick and we'll get it popping, and then we'll start expressing our opinions. So let's take a listen.
Oh, saying the word. You already said is just like saying she's calling you. It's like this boy that he's and starts calling them word. There should be a word like, especially like the word that's our. He says guy, and then saying to use the word out the word. He couldn't.
All right. I'm not going to drag that out. So basically, what you're seeing there is a montage of Joe Rogan using the N-word. And I don't know if you guys know or have been following Joe Rogan for a long time. I know I have. I've always found his guests and the topics of discussion very interesting. He's sat with great comedians, fighters, actors, activists, scientists. I mean, the gamut of personalities that he's had on his show is the reason why he's, at the top of the heap. And he's not a dumb guy. He's a smart guy. He's well-read. He loves history. He's a person of depth. I will say that. Now, there have been times where I would read comments on YouTube when it came to the combat sports world. And I picked up rather quickly that a lot of his fans, for me, in my opinion, come across like they use that word the way he was using it in that montage. And they don't just use it to be funny. They use it because that's a practical word in their vocabulary, right? So there were quite a few times where I would see this and I would just be like, yeah, this cat knows this, And just by his circle of immediate friends, there's some guys that I just, he has a comedian friend, Ari, I forget his last name. And when Kobe died, he made a video that very day in front of the Staples Center. And he was saying, I don't give a F about this guy dying. He was a rapist and blah, 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 and F him and whatever. The internet went to town and he literally got on a plane and left to Israel. Like he was out of here. And he lost a lot of work behind it and whatever. I say that all to say that sometimes behind funny, there's a lot of truth. just like the greatest comedians we've seen, a lot of their great comedy comes from great pain, right? Their experiences. So wanted to ask you, gentlemen, because you're Sally's my co-host, Dom, you're with us tonight. I wanted to put it to you guys and try to understand your position on how you feel. What's your view on Joe Rogan and the use of that word?
Dom, I'll let you go because you're the guest here. I'll let you go first.
I mean that it's such a tough one. You know what I mean? Like the reality is it is a tough one. There's definitely no excuse for him saying the things that he said. You know, I'm a guy like you. I'm a Joe Rogan fan. I've watched all his episodes. So from what I know of his characteristics involving all the people that he's dealt with and things of that nature, I think I have to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't believe he's a racist to that extent. You know, where he truly has that kind of hate in his heart. I don't think that. I think lack of common sense. He has to know better. Yeah, part of him is a comedian. Also understanding, like you just said, about a lot of his fan base, a lot of people that follow him, right, are on that side of things.
Right.
And you know, we're coming from an era of Trump where these things have been brought out and now are just scrutinized in a whole different light than any time before. So you know, I try to be fair with my comments on that particular issue, because again, there is no way. He has to know better, understand. I don't believe he said it maliciously at all.
Right.
I think he's a typical person, like a lot of us are. And I say, I'll be the first one to sit here. I'll be a hypocrite, I feel like, if I criticize them, because I'm the first one to crack jokes on blacks, whites, Spanish. I don't care. I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're 2 feet tall, 7 feet tall, fat, skinny. I was raised in an era that we crack jokes on each other. That's what we do. If you couldn't stand it, that's your problem, not ours, right? Like,
are you my Caucasian?
so you know, for me, that's my mindset, you know, and I think he just kind of really, you know, the powers that be are definitely pushing hard on him because he is the #1 voice on podcasts, you know. So there's definitely more to it than just that. I think they are using it more than anything to get at him
as an advantage.
And to end what I gotta say on that particular note, I just feel like I told my son, I said, there are a few people out there that truly will not make any type of racial joke, racial statement, you know, just genuine people that just don't have that in them.
Right.
So for me, I feel like, okay, if you're one of those people and you're really upset at him for what he said and you can't stand him anymore, whatever the case is, I respect it. I respect it.
Right.
But if you're looking in the mirror and you have told yourself before, you haven't said a black joke, white joke, Spanish joke, said things, you know, that obviously you probably can't say out in public, I don't think it's right for you to scrutinize him to a degree that you want to cost him his career. Should he pay for what he said? Should some type of penalty? Probably, but not to the point that he should lose his career. Because again, I just don't feel he is a racist.
Right. Sally, can I ask you a question? I want to ask you a question based off of something that Don brought up, because he brought up an interesting point. Stating that Joe Rogan happens to be at the top of the heap, which we all know, right? Do you feel like this is a wedge issue that they're trying to use to take away his sort of, I would say, credibility because of what he's done or his stance against COVID?
Well, 100%. If you go back to the first time, like you said, they went after him for COVID first, and then that didn't work. and then this came out. Again, we're not saying that it's okay, right? We're not
Right.
saying that. And when Dom says they, they went after him for COVID first, right?
Mhm.
Daniel Eck has stood by him and Spotify. Spotify was $250 a share in was it June of 2020? It's like $164 now. So you're talking over
We getting in?
you're talking over 54, like 50 some percent. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Mhm.
that's a big hit, but that's what it's going to come down to. Are they going to balk on the money? Their pockets are being hurt. The board members are going to come after them. Listen, you got to get rid of this guy. That's what it's going to come down to.
Right.
Do I think that's going to happen? I don't know if that's going to happen. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's really going to happen. I think they're going to stick by him if they stick by him this long. Maybe he'll go and do his own thing, start his own radio, platform, whatever, podcast platform. But I think they're reaching for him because he has a reach. This guy's been around Dave Chappelle for so many years, and for Dave Chappelle to not realize this guy's a racist. Again, like Dom said, we've all said things. Hispanics are some of the biggest racists against our own peoples, right? Dominican. So, I mean, I feel, did he fuck up? Yeah, he said the wrong thing, whatever. But it's something that I don't think he's being malicious about it. And for the people that follow him, that could be us too. I mean, people, I know people that love Trump. They're not racist. They're not this, but that's what they get labeled as. So, I mean, that to label his followers, I don't think there's anything you can do about that because people can follow the set and who knows what they're about, right? Somebody called you far left yesterday, Mr. A, right? So,
Yep.
So
I think that's very interesting the way you put that together. So, I think that we have to look at this from a lens of understanding because, Sally brought up a great point. To everybody in the room, I see nothing but Latinos in here. And I know our brothers who are like full on black that they've been in the room in the past. They're not here with us now, but Latinos, I'm sorry, man. You got to get your shit together. For one, I came to find out that at least 50 or more percentage of people in Puerto Rico identify as white. How that is, I have no idea. Wow. Who convinced them of that? I have no idea. Salute to our brother Armin. We see you. The only I forget what Armin is. I think he's is he Armin? No. Armin, what are you? What nationality are you? But I'm sorry, back to my point. Latinos need to get their shit together because I know many of young Latina women that were told at he's Iranian. Salute to Iranians in the building. Were told very young, at a very young age, if you bring a Moreno in my house, you bring a black boyfriend home, you're not my daughter no more, or I'll disown you. Which I don't understand because if you looked in that family's lineage, if you looked into their aunts and uncles and cousins and brothers and grandmothers, uncles, whatever, you would see black people. And people don't understand or conceptualize what I'm saying because when you say black people, they think what we see, right? When we walk around the city or whatever. Mm-hmm. It doesn't always come wrapped like that. It just doesn't. But another thing to understand is Joe was using the N word. He wasn't using the word we use. And to me, that's an issue. And this isn't an issue, I agree with Sully wholeheartedly that they're trying to divert from what he did or his stance on COVID completely. But he gave them the artillery. This is a man that's really good friends with Dave Chappelle. He was even better friends with Charlie Murphy. And Charlie Murphy, if you guys know, he was a street dude. He was, Eddie Murphy's his brother, but he was about that life. So it's kind of hard to really stick and pause with the racist term, right? Now, Sally also brought up an interesting point. You know, people are Trump supporters, but we can't call them racist. Now, let me ask you, gentlemen, if you have a friend,
No, I said not all Trump or so.
right,
Not
right,
all.
right, but that leads to the question: if you have a friend who's on your team, who works with you, who whatever, he's in your proximity, and you know he's racist, or he says racist shit, can you still hang out with that person?
I'd rather know you're racist. I went
Okay.
away to New Mexico, Texas, and there was some straight up racist motherfuckers out there. You know what I mean? But I was like, all right, at least I know where we stand. And there was also some rednecks that opened their doors to me and, you know, treated me like family, you know, eat whatever, this and that. So, I mean, I would rather you, like, if you that's what you about, all right, cool. I know where we stand than being covert. Like, that's
Right.
just me. I don't know about you, no.
I'm real quick. Hey, are you seeing the messages on your screen from Yvonne Rodriguez?
No,
I'm seeing it on Facebook right now because I left the Facebook open, so I'm seeing messages on there.
Nah, I'm not seeing her.
Yeah, so I didn't see him here either. That's why I was wondering.
Yvonne, come to the main page. Come to the Set 6145 on YouTube or Facebook. So what Selly said is interesting, Dom. If you was listening, he says he'd rather have people out front and know who they are, right? Now, the question is, can you be friends with them? Can you be friends with somebody you know is racist?
I mean, I think racist is a term that is different to a lot of people.
Okay.
You know, because if you ask me, I'm racist. Most of the people that I know is racist.
Wait. Say that again, Dom. I'm sorry. You said you're racist?
If I'm being honest with myself, I'm a racist. Right? Like, I mean, it's just
surprise,
the truth,
motherfucker.
You know, like,
I can't understand you. Go back to your country.
but I'm a out the closet racist. Like,
you're an equal opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Like
everybody,
my boys that come here, they know it is what it is. You know, like if I got one of my boys that are black that come here, he do some black shit. I'm like, you black bitch. If it's some white friend that's here, I'm like, you cracker bitch. Like it is what it is. Same thing with Spanish people. I'm like, you damn spick. You know, it's there. Like, so I say it, but again, everybody knows I don't mean it from a hateful place.
Not malicious.
I just
but that's not racism.
Yeah. So that's why I just feel like it's a little different for everybody because you know there's some people that say it and they mean that shit from the heart. And I've heard those people now, when we talk about those people that I've heard say certain things where, you know, I don't want to offend anybody with the N-word on here, but that's part of my vocabulary. I'm not going to use it tonight. But if I've had people that I've heard that use that word and say it in an angry demeanor, like just really ups. And once you do something like that, all my respect for you is gone. You know, like I can't have respect for you when I know it's coming from a place of hate, because at the end of the day, I look at everybody like we're all the same, man. You know, depending on where we come from, we have a lot of some. I know I was born in Brownsville, Brooklyn. I lived in Brownsville, where, you know, we Spanish people were just sprinkled around Brownsville. I was raised with nothing but black people.
Right.
So for me, you know, when people say, how come you don't speak Spanish? Like, shit, I didn't hang out with nobody Spanish. You know, my parents spoke English, so it was like, you know, my Spanish sounds fucked up now. It is what it is. But that was because of the way I was raised, you know?
Right.
But it's yeah, I mean, to answer your question, I guess, you know, if I know it, you on some hateful racist type shit, you know, to say I don't acquaint with some people like that, I definitely do. I say what's up to people like that. You know, I might even go out for a night with someone like that if they're in the crowd, crew, or whatever. But I won't call them a friend though.
Right. Like what are we defining as friendship? Right. You know what I mean? Is it somebody like on my team that I'm like, all right, this guy's helping me win games, but he's a racist prick. But whatever, like we winning. You know what I mean?
You
like,
know that.
It is,
you know, we played with a few.
Of course, is we out here. Hell yeah. we played with a few. So like I said, I went away to Texas, New Mexico. I seen it. I had some straight up racists, some straight up people that was open arms, and that goes, basically, America. What's the first three keys in America? Like you could to me, and you can put it in any order: race, class, gender.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Like that's where we start.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want to I hope the OG is still in the room, because he wrote a message here, and he has a very good point, and I want to talk about it. The big bro Peter says the problem is that this cancel culture has become the cure-all for any issues that liberals and government disagree. Yet when situations like Whoopi's comments occur, everyone wants to put that cancel culture on the back burner. Now, let me tell you why I find that interesting. Because the fact is that, and again, respectfully salute to the big bro Pete. The division that's used to keep people fighting, as they say, are these labels. Liberals, conservatives, this, that, this. But the interesting thing about what Peter said also is that he's bringing up the issue with Whoopi Goldberg, right? We all know, you guys are aware of what Whoopi Goldberg said, right?
I didn't hear exactly what she said. But
About the Holocaust.
Right. So essentially what she said, Dom, was that the Holocaust wasn't about race, right? So essentially she's saying that these people that were victims of the Holocaust are not a race. Sorry. And to a degree, I agree with her, because Judaism is a religion,
right?
It's not a race of people. And another big bro and I was getting into a conversation about that. What I find interesting about the Holocaust is that when you not compare, but when you put them side by side, chattel slavery, segregation, Jim Crow, everything that's gone on in this country, and the Holocaust, people are quick to tell you slavery ended mad years ago. We never owned any slaves. You want to make everything about race. You should get over it. Try to say that about the Holocaust. That happened here. Chattel slavery happened in the United States. It built its economy. It made this country. And we don't even want to talk about all the theft from inventions. Like, we don't even want to touch that. Now move forward after the Civil War, they have Reconstruction. And then after that, they put them in segregation and Jim Crow takes hold all the way up into the late 1950s and early 60s. But if you tell somebody, oh, the Holocaust was years ago, why? Shut up already. Like, get over it. It's over. Dude, they'll shut you down. It's over for you. And the reason why I'm saying that is, do you see it that way?
Was there restitution for the Holocaust?
Of course.
Was there restitution for the Japanese that was like 2 years locked up?
Internment camps? Yes, there were.
Okay. So was there restitution for slavery?
Never.
No.
They can't go back that far.
No, okay. So
Yeah, we can't account for what we owe.
That's how, a lot of poverty leads to that, right? From there.
So. But again, why do you think it is that they'll tell people in this country are quick to tell you to get over and let go of slavery and whatever happened? But if you bring up the Holocaust, your career can get ended. Why?
Let's jump at once. Very powerful. They are very powerful.
That's the truth.
Well, ladies and gentlemen in the room, if you feel like you understand what I'm saying to you and have an opinion as to why that is, please express yourself. Armin says it's too much money to do the right thing at this point. Listen, if they can find a couple of $1 billion to go to war over a lie, I'm sorry, reparations are long overdue and well in order. What happened in this country and how it happened is just disgusting. And to put, again, and it's not to dismiss or be flippant about the Holocaust. The Holocaust was terrible, right? As we understand it, the Holocaust was terrible.
Sure.
I got
What? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dom.
I was gonna say I have a question on that though. If that was to take effect, how would they go about it?
Reparations?
Yeah. Like
it would be a long and arduous process, and a small amount of people would get money, and everybody else would get pushed to the side. That's what I think would happen. Because at one point in this country, if you were considered a Native American, you got wild benefits, land, you don't pay any federal taxes, blah, 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 blah. So you had a segment of the population that we come to understand, they're called $5 Indians. It was a bunch of folks that came over from another country that were here, started to understand the benefits of becoming a Native American, and started paying $5 to be classified as such. So if you notice, you'll see, Native American festivals or just things happening, and you'll look at them, and they don't look very Native. A lot of them are the descendants of those $5 Indians. And I'm
gonna try to be classified as a black man if that comes into effect. I'm sure I got an uncle, aunt out there. I'd like to count.
I have.
You want your 40 acres?
And the guy, rang him up, and he was buying a battery for his car. And he was like, oh, it's this much, like, $105 or whatever. And he was like, oh, no, that's not right. I don't pay taxes. So the guy looked at him and was like, yeah, all right, you pay taxes. Everybody pays. He said, nope, I'm a Native American. This dude looked like Bushwhacking Bill. Short little dude, blanky as all hell, big beard, pulled out some paperwork, and the guy was like, I got to call my manager. And ultimately, he ended up paying like, $97 for the battery.
Going back to the cancel culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we came on here last year and said, you guys are taking this vaccine and you're going to get the virus again and this and that, they probably would have canceled us too, right? Anybody would have went on saying that. But did that happen? See, that's my problem with cancel. Like, you want to cancel people. Like, we have to be able to, question things and be like, listen, why is this happening? Like, why, where's the money going? I'm paying all these taxes. Where's this money going? Whatever the case is. So the cancel culture, it's a problem when you don't, everyone has it's kind of like they want robots. They want everybody to be in that same mode of, this is the right way. You know what I mean? Fauci is a human being, right? Like my thing with the Pope, like when I used to be like, yo, why the Pope wears a bulletproof thing around him? Like, if he's going to heaven, why is he scared to get shot or whatever? Like, he's going to heaven, right? He's a good dude. Like, but he's a man. At the end of the day, he's a human, and people have, they throw Fauci a nice little sum. Hey, boss, you say this, we got you. And he's a human being. Might be like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say whatever you want. Or I'm gonna dip my toe in that water and put some money in there and make some money. So that's what people have to really like. You have to fight things. Like, listen, whether Joe Rogan said this, said that, I get it. But comedians have been doing that shit for years too, and all that shit is getting stopped. You know what I mean? Red Fox, whatever. Like, Richard Pryor, all that stuff back in the days. So we have to really fight for this because they're gonna take our rights, man. It's like look at Canada. What's going on with the? I've been saying it. How long I was saying this day? When February comes in Canada, the vaccine passport, and here we go.
That's a fact.
Definitely, I'm so sick of this damn cancel culture. I can't take that shit no more, man.
We can't even talk. And you know what's crazy? I'm sorry to cut you off, Don. And I think this, along Sally too, like all three of us have a very clear understanding of what it means to be expressive and want to speak our minds, right? And not only that, but feel free enough to just say what we want to say. And now you can't do that. You can't. People have been conditioned by the internet on how to speak. Because you say, the other day, they showed a video clip. Somebody put up a video clip of this bathroom that was infested with roaches. And I wrote, burn the whole crib. You know what happened? My account got blocked. You sure? Like, what did I say that was so wrong? If your crib is infested like that with roaches, just burn the house down. Burn it. You know what I mean? But to the point, people are not allowed to express themselves freely without them being canceled. And we shouldn't do that. When they took Trump off of Twitter, I was like, ooh, that is not good. Now, it may be good because he's a dope, but these people that supported him uplifted and put him on that pedestal. So now you got 30, 40, 50 million people that are like, what? But there's this huge division. People aren't together. We're not united, the working people or the working poor or even the poor. Everybody is in their own little boxes. Me, 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 me. That's not a good look. It's definitely not a good look.
Definitely. This is definitely a divided country, divided world at that.
Well, no, the world isn't divided. The people that sit up top, those mother effers are moving all the chess pieces. They know what the hell they're doing.
Without a doubt.
I'm sorry?
No, I said without a doubt.
Yeah. But back to Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan has been doing this for years. Do I wholeheartedly feel like he's a racist? I can't really call that 100%. I don't. I can't really call it. Being funny and saying, jokes about people's race, things that we all come to understand, like, Blanquies can't dance. Puerto Ricans always got like 50 people in one little car. We always got switchblades. Generalizations that we always thought funny or whatever the case may be. That's not racist. When you're using the N-word with a hard ER and you don't want your children bring, people of different colors or hues to your family, that's racism, right? That, like you were speaking, Dom, the hate, when you speak with hate in your heart, that's racism. Making jokes is not racist. So with Joe Rogan, but let me share this clip with you guys. And I think that this is something that he was having a conversation with somebody and they were saying some real sus stuff. And I want you to listen to this because this position or this understanding or belief has been a long standing racist belief. So let me know what you guys think.
There's this whole debate about the MAOA gene, which is like this gene that Black Africans have it's like a proclivity to violence that they have.
MAOA gene.
Yeah. I recommend people Google it and do their own research. It's like a big debate about whether or not, but basically like what it is it's, if you think about like, kind of white European, Asian ancestors, as we kind of moved out of Africa, like aggression and violence was kind of less necessary because we were like farmers and stuff.
But
right?
Did you guys hear that?
But he wasn't saying anything. The guy was saying.
No, right. But I'm not saying him. Right. They had the conversation and he was like, oh, wow, I didn't know about this gene, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
What I'm saying is that people of color, or Black people specifically, a long-standing belief that has been perpetuated by white society is that they have a predisposition for violence. This has been going on forever and ever, right? So I guess what I'm asking you gentlemen is, with his sort of argument saying about this MAOG or whatever gene, do you feel, or do you, better yet, have a predisposition toward?
We're losing you. Your Wi-Fi, whatever's going on.
Or farmers?
We lost you.
We didn't hear that.
We lost your signal.
You didn't hear that?
Nope.
Okay. Do you believe his argument that Black people have a predisposition to violence and that Europeans were just, non-violent and, they were farmers?
I can't.
You know, if I'm gonna answer that honestly, you know, I was doing some research on, as far as, I think I was having a conversation with Natalie one time, and we spoke about how science now, you know, where they're the level they're at now, that they're finding so many different revelations, and that you know, I used to be one of those guys with the mindset, like we were talking about slavery early, right? And I was one of those people that was like, all right, enough. That was in the past. Like, why are we still like, let's get past this shit. Let's start and let's work now. Work from now. Let's stop worrying about what happened in times that we weren't even alive. And you know, that was the ignorance of me being a young man, not knowing better. But then when I started doing the research on the sciences, and they started to find that through DNA, they were able to find that trauma can get passed down generations. And it might, something my father did might not affect me, but could affect my son. And it said these are the genes that go through DNA and they get passed on, and we might not know why we feel a certain way about something, but majority of the time that's because maybe a great grandmother, great grandfather went through something that got passed down towards us. So I mean, if he's speaking in that terminology where they find that this gene comes from a place that maybe, again, from slave days, that they want to kill anyone that was trying to enslave them, I get it. But that, to make that kind of statement, you better have evidence to back that up. You better have evidence to back that up, because that I just that's definitely not the place and time to make a bold statement like that unless there's real facts to back it up. That's how I feel.
And I agree. I definitely feel there must be a study on it, right? So if they having a study on it, that's what science is about. But it goes back to COVID, right? That's what science is about. It's about trial and error. It's about trial and error, right? So it's not about just you know, this one way is the like Fauci's the end all be all. You know, that's not science. So if they feel they found something, could be in Hispanics too. We got it in our blood, right? We could be pretty violent ourselves, right? So, you know, I feel it's something that I know nothing about, so I don't really have a comment on predisposing of who's what. You know what I mean? Like, but if scientifically, if there's research, then let's see where that goes.
You guys both seen Django Unchained, right? With Django.
Yeah.
You just see Django, so?
I think I did.
Okay. There's
Jamie
a part,
Foxx, right?
Jamie Foxx.
yeah. There's a part in the movie where Candy is he has a skull of an old Negro slave, and he starts telling him, this is the part of submissiveness, and this is that, and blah 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 blah. Okay. Dom was just saying, you know, if there's research, and you know, it could be from when this and that and da 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 da, it could be passed on, because we do understand that trauma can be passed on genetically, right? So let's think about this for a second. We're talking, let's say, around about 250 years of slavery, segregation, Jim Crow, right? How much trauma has been inflicted upon the slaves and the descendants of slaves? And who was inflicting that trauma? And if it's passed on from generation to generation to generation, I'm trying to understand how the victim has a genetic disorder that creates a predisposition to violence. When you've been getting you were enslaved, then you used to get lynched, castrated, burned alive. Some mothers had their babies cut out of their stomach. And these people that were doing this to you were vicious. So that need and thirst for blood, is that something that can be passed on through generation to generation?
Maybe it's like a defense mechanism.
They're the enslavers. Who are they defending? That's what I want to know.
No, you're saying that you said about the genetic disposition, right?
Right.
Right. So they're being enslaved, right? That's what you're saying. Right. So it's a defense mechanism for them, maybe. Again, we don't know, I mean, in science,
You can
you know,
only imagine the anger and the hate of those times where they were probably, if they were able to just grab one of those slave masters and put the beats on them, they would have if they could have, and I guess you could say maybe that kind of anger maybe got passed down.
right.
I think to the point that the gentleman was speaking, I think is a very, very dangerous statement to make, because it's been something that they've promoted for many and many years. How, black people have a predisposition to violence, and look at them. It's bullshit.
The only thing I heard was Jimmy the Greek. He said they had an extra muscle.
Lies, motherfucker.
That's what it was good in sports.
But the thing about it is let's think about this for a second. Let's say it was real. Why hasn't the black population just went completely bonkers and just did what they did in Haiti and slaughtered all of these people? If you go to the South, the population is very 60-40. It's very close. Why haven't they just went nuts and just started killing all those people? Because if you go to the South, they're still racist. It's very well known. These are people that still say the South will rise one day again. They believe that shit. Why haven't they gone nuts down there? They got guns. Why haven't they just, started lopping people's heads off?
Are you my Caucasian?
You know what I mean? But let me circle back. We getting too heavy. Let's bring it back. Joe Rogan. I think Joe Rogan, for all intents and purposes, hasn't done himself justice by policing not only his own behavior, but that of those around him. And I will say 100%, I know for a fact that he has people in his circle that use that word, and they mean it. Does that make him that person? I don't know. I can't call it. I really can't. But the fact of the matter is, in defense of his freedom of speech, Joe Rogan shouldn't be canceled, because I see what he's doing or has done during COVID has been a real thing. And if it's going to open up some people's eyes and make them understand, like, this is a system that we're living under, and they want, like Sally said, they want everybody to just be good and obedient and walk the line, maybe his position will change some hearts. But they're definitely using this moment to take him down. I don't know.
If this don't work, they're gonna pull up. He raped the girl, or some other shit's gonna come up.
They're gonna bring out more.
So, you have to sometimes sift through shit yourself and see that, what, people trying to shut him down, but then I'm mad at other people being shut down. Like, you ain't no different then. If we've, like you said, we've all said shit. We've all done shit. We have friends that said shit. You know what I mean? So are you in the same category as him? Are you any different? I don't think so, right? Because you said shit yourself. You've been around people that said shit. So we've all, end of the day is just be smart about it. Pick your fights and just watch the end game is what you really got to watch. The end game. So, forget about these little small fights that they're trying to do. They're trying to take away our freedoms.
Yeah. And if you notice, things have been changing. The narratives have been changing. Like
Ronald Reagan fucked everything up.
Dude.
He started all this shit.
If you notice, the narratives have been changing, because now, COVID's not that serious. It only affects this segment of the population, 65 and above, pre-existing condition, or super obese people with, health conditions, right? We've come to understand that. It's not something that I'm making up. This has been said. In England, they gave people COVID. None of them died. Now, I'm not talking about vax people. I'm just talking about regular folks. Nobody died. So as the time goes on, people's perceptions and understandings have changed, but you see we're still under this constraint of, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. And little by little, they've been loosening the reins, but people are still under that same mindset. Oh, it's COVID, gotta be careful. Come on, man. How about lose some weight? How about eat better? Get some exercise.
Well, I think the insurance plans pay like $700 or something, whatever the case is for the vaccines. I was hearing something the other day about it. I think it was like $700 or something. And I was like, why don't they just give everyone that $700 to as a gym membership and let people just go work out for the year or something and see how that works out? Maybe people will do that instead of getting vaccines and things like that. And I joke about Ronald Reagan, but Ronald Reagan has a lot to do with what happens nowadays, and people really need to research Ronald Reagan and the laws that he changed, and did, the fake news and all that shit started with him, the fairness doctrine and all that stuff that he changed. So, and besides the war on drugs, DK. So anyway, but that's another, topic for another day.
Yo, I gotta ask Dom, now that you brought up Ronald Reagan. Yo, Dom, did you hear that his wife Nancy was the throat goat of Hollywood?
No, I did not.
The throat goat of Hollywood.
I wouldn't doubt it. Man, he was living that Hollywood life.
Son, who thought that Nancy was in Hollywood? Like, who thought that?
Slurping and burping?
Dude, you know who called it in the 80s? It was the 80s? Yeah, late 80s, early 90s probably. Too Short. Too Short blew up. And it came back around. He has a song.
Really?
Yeah.
I got to do some research on this.
Yo, dude, do it, please. Because it was a thing about maybe a month ago. Sel, you knew about that?
No.
Estaba lavando la cabeza, Dios mío.
Armin has something to say to you.
I know at least 3 people who don't fit the bill of your description who are no. Yes, Armin, 100%. There are outliers. COVID, we're not underplaying COVID. No. Everybody in the room, don't get confused. We are not saying that COVID is not a real thing. We are not saying that COVID doesn't affect or take lives. We're not saying any of that. My position, I'm sorry?
We lost him also.
Yeah. We lost quite a few people that we know. But you have to understand that there's an agenda behind everything. Like Pfizer made $22 billion off COVID shots. $22 billion. Where did they get that money from? And it's $700 a shot, so it's like $700.
I think that's what the insurances were paying. Mm-hmm.
Why is that the end all to be all? Why?
And then you got the, you got the boosters and all that too. You got to account for. So it's over a grip right there. It's over $1,000.
They had to find another way besides a war to make money.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing.
The way we make money in this
country. Control has been going on forever, and this is just part of the plan.
Yeah, and people understand something. We have to be able to talk like this with each other. It can't be, oh, you're saying COVID's not affecting. No, not saying that. No, let's be adult. And I'm not attacking anybody, so nobody take this to heart. All I'm saying is, again, we have to be able to talk openly and honestly with each other and be okay with that. I don't have to agree with Dom or Sally, and they don't have to agree with me. We don't have to agree on a damn thing, but we must be able to talk to each other openly and not want to jump on each other and, oh, you're full. I'm not talking. Can't be like that. Because that's
Armin. Sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Armin, go look at the fairness doctrine. That's where everything started with the fake news, and Ronald Reagan abolished it, so you don't have to speak truths. If you're not speaking about something specific, you don't have to speak truths anymore about it. So and then Rupert Murdoch, shortly after they started the Fox News, a good friend of his. So go look at that.
Listen, there was Dom, I wanted to tell you this, that now that Sally brought that up, there was a gentleman, it was a gentleman, or somebody sued one of the Fox News commentators. I don't know if it was Sucker Carlson or Bill O'Reilly or whatever. It was one of them. Sued, saying, yo, he's lying. These are false, it's putting out false information, is misleading the public, blah, 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 whatever. Went to court. Fox sent their lawyers in there. Fox's lawyers' defense was this, put in, no uncertain terms. He is an entertainer, and anybody who believes anything that comes out of his mouth is irresponsible and reckless. He basically saying he's lying, right? He's lying. He knows he's lying, and you can't hold him accountable for that because he's not news. He's just talking his opinions, and nothing he's saying should be held as facts. But we all know there's like 30, 40, 50, 60 million people that watch him and believe everything he says. And you know what? He won that case.
Dom, you want to say anything on There Goes the Neighborhood? You open a 501c3.
I mean,
and it protects all because the First Amendment rights. It's not for profit.
I said, I just tell everybody to take a step back. It doesn't matter what it is. It might be religion, might be politics, it might be just current affairs. The minute you start to lean too heavy to one side, you do not allow yourself to be enlightened by any more information. It's I went through, like, I don't watch the news no more. I stopped watching the news.
Good on
because
you.
I'm more like in a spiritual sense, trying to stay with positive energy, and I feel like the news is nothing but negative. So that's been my thing, and I love it.
Right.
But before, I tried to watch CNN for an hour, then I'll watch Fox an hour. I didn't want to go back. I didn't want to stay tuned in just to one because it's so easy to get lost, because I was lost in both for certain time periods where I would kind of focus here, focus there. And I realized my opinion were being swayed by the facts I'm listening to, well, so-called facts that I would listen to on the news.
Right.
And that's what kind of took me to that place where I was like, you know what? And I would tell everybody, like, look, stop leaning so hard. Just listen to both sides. When someone has to, stop trying to be defensive, like you run the Republican Party or the Democratic Party, or like, you're COVID or not COVID, like, just listen. You don't, when you hear certain things, you're going to learn things you haven't realized. And you know what? Now you can look things up for yourself and start to realize, okay, these are some true facts. These are not facts. These are, but some people, you just can't do that. Some people just get so locked in when they lean heavy to one side that no matter what you say is going in one ear, out the other, and they're going to stick to what they believe, what they want to believe. And they don't realize they've been brainwashed.
And Dom, that's a great point, because I used to always say, like, even with Trump, right? Trump has certain things that I would be like, man, that's some good shit he got right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some smart business. He. This is the thing with Trump. Like we said about overt and covert racism earlier, right? Trump ran the White House like a business. The White House is a business, but they don't say that, right?
Yeah,
Trump
exactly.
runs the White House like a business. At least we knew where he was coming from. Now, my problem with Trump was people wanted, socialist and this and that, but he wanted to skip that part. He wanted to go straight dictatorship. So that's my issue with it. Like, he kind of was like, all right, I'm gonna change law. Fuck the laws. We going here.
Yeah.
So that's what those people got to realize that too. Like, whoa, like, slow down, my man. I'm with you, but we got laws and constitutions that we, in this country. So that was my thing more with him. I'm not left. I'm not right. They all ass. They suck. You know what I mean? But anyway, I digress.
Great points by both of you. To speak to Dom's opening statement, and I think that everybody should really consider this. A guest that we had on the show, a gentleman who's an astute reader, and Sally, we grew up reading them books and having these conversations. This brother here went all the way and continues to this day. And one of the things that he told me when I first spoke to him on the phone was that he stopped watching TV, I think about 8-9 years ago. And he said, once you stop watching TV, things just change. You just see things differently. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not inundated with their all the time.
So true.
And I would advise everybody, turn the TV off, man. It's a bunch of dead images moving real fast. And all they're trying to do is to get you on their storyline and sell you something. Period.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? You want to watch TV? You want to watch
that's social media. That's everywhere, man.
Right.
Yeah, always. You talk about something and it's there. You're like, damn.
You want to watch a movie? All right, get lost in the movie. But to be watching, regular TV and news, DK news and all that, nah, you got to stay away from all that, man, because it gets you in the cycle.
Go put some fat asses on. Just look at some fat asses or something. Like,
well, watch. There goes the neighborhood.
There you go.
Make you feel better, man.
But
data thoughts.
To the second point about what Sully was saying as far as running it as a business. Salute to my Titi all the way down in Florida. Love you, Titi. The United States is a business. The Incorporated United States of America. It absolutely is. And we are the effer movement, right?
We're losing.
So the government that we had does not represent us. It represents the corporate thugs and their interests. And that's why these people are able to sit in the Senate and, for 10, 20, and 30 years and do insider trading, and nobody goes to jail, and their families.
Nancy Pelosi.
Say again?
Nancy Pelosi.
Oh, Nancy Pelosi heavy. The list is large and wide. And not only that, but they make their friends rich, and they make their nieces and nephews and cousins and uncles and everybody rich. It's their club. And this whole...
We need to do that. Make us all rich. Let's share the love.
But the thing about it is we shouldn't have to. We're supposed to have the government working for us. They don't. And the reason why that's happening is because everybody believes in this liberal conservative bullshit. And there's a division. Oh, you're a liberal. I don't want to talk. Listen, if you're a conservative and you have premarital sex, shut up. You're not a conservative. If you're a conservative and you don't go to church every Sunday, you're not a conservative. You're not. That's it. Now they're welcoming LGBTQ people into their party. That's not conservative ideology. It's just not. And you don't have to agree with everything that a party does to be like, oh, you know what? Stay away from that. They're not working for you. Like,
you know what I represent?
I represent the rent is too damn high party.
Hey, my take on that is like I tell everybody. Republicans, Democrat today could be Democrat, Republican tomorrow. Whatever fits their agenda, they're gonna do. So if they need a fucking dog to vote, they're gonna start putting dogs in the office. They love dogs. That's gonna be their thing. It doesn't matter. Whatever they need, that's where they're gonna go. And that's why I tell people, like, you gotta understand it. Like, whatever their ideology is now, that can change in the next 15 years. If they need some gay people, they're gonna be, I love gay people. Let's get all the gays in here right now.
As soon as they get voted in, that shit changes back to what they were.
Exactly.
Fucking Biden's supposed to take care of them student loans. People out here hurting.
Yo, and another thing is, think about this. Have you been to red states? Sally, you've traveled, you've been to red states, right? Right, Dom?
Yeah, definitely. You
go to the Carolinas, you go to Florida, you go to Texas, you go anywhere in the Midwest. Dude, the roads are like glass.
Yeah, we went to Wisconsin, right?
Yeah, Wisconsin.
What was it like out there?
How was it like?
What was it like?
Actually, there was a family that loved us.
Okay.
That was like, I'm gonna cook for you guys. Come over. Then there were some other people at the bar, like, we don't take kindly to strangers around here, boy.
Oh man. But that's the thing. You can go to these places and you can see the disparity. On one side of town, everything's all green and nice, and you're like, oh my God, it's so nice. And then you drive 20 minutes and bang.
Gun store, liquor store, gun store. You're like, okay.
Yeah. And the schools are effed up, and red states take the lion's share of welfare. Yeah. I don't know if you guys know that. What?
Yeah, that's facts.
They take the lion's share. And who lives in red states? What's the predominant race in red states?
Are you my Caucasian?
Exactly.
Well, you go right here to Brooklyn and see the Jews. All the Jews the same thing.
The views expressed on the set.
they got their buildings and their own welfare at the same time.
Yo, that's what I'm.
Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.
I'm ready to go.
That was canceled, guys. Thanks. Thank you all for being here.
This is the final episode of the set. We love you all.
We'll be on There Goes the Neighborhood.
We're moving over. We're gonna sit in the window there, the window right there. No, but that's the reality, man. Stop. Salute to the big bro, because I know your big brother. We get in these places as we get older, and naturally, this is proof. Naturally, we become more conservative. I feel like we start to reflect on the shit we did, and we're like, yo, I got to study for this final. That's how I see it.
If you feel growing up, the Democratic Party didn't work for you, and now you're trying the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm.
And, it depends financially too. It might be beneficial to be a Republican, right? So, that's what happens. People go into, let's try this, see if it works.
But is that a morality thing, or is that I'm looking out for my finances thing?
You're doing what's best for you and your family.
It
right.
can be a mix sometimes, depending on the person.
Do you guys feel like you have to be a member of a political? Do you have to have a political affiliation at all?
No, I don't, and that's
well. If it affects immediate, if you're voting for your immediate circle, like around, for your where you live at, your districts, you should have a party, because you should want the people that's going to help you, in your neighborhood, right?
Well, even if you're affiliated as a Democrat, you can still vote Republican. Whatever it might be.
Remember what you said though? 1 minute is this, and the next minute when they get in, the shit changes. Mm-hmm. Politicians, and this is just my position. Politicians are just showmen. They just are. There are and have been men and women who have tried to jump into politics with amazing intentions. They either go along to get along, or they get kicked out because they don't want to go along to get along. Right? And that is the problem. People's intentions always change. When you're on the outside looking in, it's one thing, but when you in it, it's something different. It's just like being in a relationship or a marriage or whatever.
The problem with politicians, and which is why a lot of people, like, again, going back to Trump, that they like Trump because he had bread. And he donated to a lot of these. Like, how did he undressed so many people at those things that it was like, yeah, I donated it to you. I donated it to you. So that's what happens. These people all get these money, and now they're like, oh shit, I got to do. Now you're a puppet. That's what the politicians, right? They play the puppet game with them. Like, now I'm in bed with you, and you got to do what I say.
I got a ton of family members.
Is real.
I have a ton of family members like that, right? When they were poor, they want online. They want the more welfare cheese. Let me get some more cheese. Like, give me all that shit free. I want everything free. You got socks, whatever the fuck you got. I want it for free. Give me it all. Then they got older, started making their own money. Now their taxes are getting killed, and now they're like, "Oh fuck that! Don't be giving everything for free. Some bullshit. What the hell's going on? They're taking all my damn money." So, that's facts with that.
I think
the grilled cheese, the thick grilled cheese sandwiches.
Yo, my God!
I used to take it to Ali, and Ali used to slice it up for me in the machine.
Oh, for real? You had to connect. Yeah. Yo, son, you would think in all the stores that we had growing up, you think we would have had to connect to take the cheese over to get cut? No,
I'm sure Musa would have did it. Musa would have did it. We never asked.
Yeah, that's true. We had a associated right on the corner of our block where we grew up, and the gentleman there, his name was Musa. And he was really good to the block. He probably definitely would have did it for us. That cheese was terrible. Oh my God!
I didn't eat cheese at that time. Thank God.
How do we go from Joe Rogan to cheese? Look, yo,
Anything
look,
can happen on the set.
yeah, for real, right? Look at Yvonne, best grilled cheese ever. Look, my wife, the best grill. It was the best because we didn't have shit. That's
that
why.
cheese was the shit, though.
When that shit could last a month. The shit was like,
Eso la pasaron un año, hermano. What you talking about, a month? A whole damn year, bro.
You had to freeze like half of it.
Big Pete, that's no truer statement. The problem with politics is the politicians, period. They become a part of that machine, man.
and that's why I say we need AOCs and we need Bernies. And they're never going to win, but they question. They question. And we need people to question. That's all.
You got to look no further than just look at this past election. How many people are in this country? And the two people that we had to vote for were Trump and Biden.
Yeah.
Like, really? You mean there's no other better
You know what we got? You know what?
representatives out there?
Yo, Dom, I'm glad you said that. We voted for overt or covert. That's what we voted for. That's a fact. Because Joe Biden in his early days was an outright, and he was talking that ish, and it was racist.
Yep.
He didn't want his kids riding the bus with people of color and black people specifically. And nobody can shy away from that or try to brush it under the rug. It was real.
That was
right?
facts.
Reagan, another one, got bagged on the call with Nixon, talking that racist ish. And Reagan, I don't even know how he's a Republican god. He's a PO. Anyway, let me stop.
Byron! Oh! Byron! Oh!
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining the show, you are S out of luck. I know we got a little off topic tonight, but that's what makes the show so great. We like to kick ideas around and let them just run on their own, and we have a good time. I hope everybody had Yo, Dom, you had a good time?
I had a great time, man. Great time.
Awesome. I appreciate you being here, brother. Sully,
yes,
as always, man, I love the fact that you always bring us back around. This brother has a way of just out of nowhere, just spinning things. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. Look at
Everything Cupid.
There you go.
Mom, when we're going on your show again? What's the date?
Tuesday, the 22nd.
All right.
22nd, 8 p.m. If you like fat asses, tune in because we're going to discuss everything that has to do with fat asses.
Wait a minute.
Little people fat asses. We got the fake fat asses, real fat asses. There we go.
I was gonna ask Dom to see if we could get a yeah before we out of here. Can we get one?
I don't got it set up on my machine yet. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tuesday the 22nd, we will be on Dom's show. There Goes the Neighborhood, talking about the cheeks. I hope everybody can tune in. It's going to be very adult, very fun, and Dom is going to be bringing the heat. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Check us out on There Goes the Neighborhood. Before we go, Sally, you got any last words before we get up and out of here, man?
Nah, just thank everybody, man. We love the comments. Please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Please share. We had a good time. Maybe you could talk to some friends and say, yo, come check out this show.
Yeah. That's what we need. Support, man.
You deserve it. You guys deserve it, man. Y'all, the podcast is amazing. Like I said, we work together like brothers on our podcast. We do what we're doing. We building together, and I'm looking forward to it, man. We're gonna have a
unity.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is our show for tonight. Make sure you check us out next Tuesday on There Goes the Neighborhood, and next Wednesday we will be back on the set with a very, very special guest. Sally, when's the
up-and-coming actor, comedian, influencer,
thespian?
Definitely seen him.
Hood thespian, I'm gonna call him. So, when's the next Just the Tip?
Monday.
Yeah. 7
p.m. Monday.
Check out my guy, Mr. Sally Sasson, on Just the Tip Sports. All right, 7 o'clock Monday. Tuesday, There Goes the Neighborhood. Wednesday, we'll be back here on the set. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We will see you next week.